Hey everybody. I am on a race against the clock here. My wife is at a dentist appointment, but I do have a guild related topic that I want to talk about today that has been kind of sitting in my brain for a while, and it came to a head like, a really terribly painful pimple yesterday after a stream that I did. Essentially, the idea of um, rendering the fat in your guild or getting rid of the complacency in your guild. Now, typically, I am talking to guild officers when I do these videos, and that means that the demographic is relatively small. Even though I do see a lot of members of guilds comment and say that they're going to send them to their guild officers, this is actually almost the reverse. I'm talking specifically to the guild members in many of these guilds, and I'm literally urging you to talk to your guild leaders if you feel like you are in this position. And we'll get back to exactly what I'm talking about in just a second. So I do want to say from the onset, this is a really great video for you to watch in the background. There is going to be nothing fancy for you to see on screen, and I did that on purpose. I don't want to call out any specific guilds. I don't want to name any guilds or name any people. But I happen to be in the throes of recruiting myself and looking for 1 to 2 new members, and I'm finding that relatively hard. And the reason I'm finding that difficult is because my criteria for a guild member has increased significantly, especially with the Order 66 raid. So yesterday, after doing my brunch with Egnards stream, I received this message, and I'm gonna change some wordings around, and I'm gonna blank out guild names again, specifically because our goal isn't to call anybody out. Um, but it basically involves a guild that is pretty high end, falling apart, right? And it goes, greetings, Egnards. My guild is looking to merge. We have many long-time free-to-play whales. I don't know what a free-to-play whale is, but I think we just mean like hardcore players. We are slowly losing good members going to other guilds. Do you have any recommendations? Now, that was followed up with, over the years, we have taken on less than optimal players. We have a very strong core group, and I believe that we would like to take the strong core and join a strong guild where their participation would be appreciated. The lesser members of our guild would be welcome to join a lesser guild as filler. For us, our strong core is always carrying the load for the weaker members. Now, this message does go on, but I think it would more than give them away, and I don't want to do that. But effectively, what this person is saying to me is that they are in a guild that has been around for a very long time. They are in a guild that is fairly high up. If I pull them up on my screen right now, it looks like they've lost about 10 members, and they are in the 500 to like 530 range without those 10 members, right? So kind of give or take their strong core being gone. We're looking at like a 570 to 600 million guild that is falling apart. And the reason that this guild is falling apart is because of complacency in the guild leadership. And what that means is that you have 20 members, even 30 members who are pulling their weight. Maybe they're spending money, maybe they're not. They're spending crystals, they're pushing the boundaries, they're contributing their time, they are meeting expectations. But then you have 20 members who are not doing that and are working below the average. So if we were to look at my own guild, and again, we're not showing visuals here, where the top 20 of my guild is maybe doing 15 to 8 million or 18 million per person in the Order 66 raid. The top 10, or the bottom 10 rather, are doing 2 to 3 million, right? And that causes a problem because that's a frustration point on the players who are putting up the numbers. And it might not just be one. Um, It might not just be one game mode. It might be TB, it might be raid, it might be a combination of those two, it might be TW. But what's effectively happening is that the core members of the guild are starting to realize, hey, wait a second. I've been pulling all this weight for so long, and if everybody in my guild is pulling the same amount of weight, I would be receiving much greater rewards, right? And this is kind of a corollary to the video that I did recently telling people, hey, it's okay to leave your guild, right? I'm giving you permission to leave your guild. And that's specifically the type of person that I was talking to. The person that was managing way above what the rest of their guild was doing. They were seeing the bottom half of their guild lacking, and they decide to go to greener pastures and find players who are more like-minded to them. So what I'm urging here is, if you are a guild officer, or if you're a guild member in a guild that you feel like is stagnating and you don't want to leave, what I'm urging here is sending this video to your officer core, or if you are an officer, sending it to the other officers in your officer group, and understanding that I am also giving you permission to walk away from members who are no longer doing what they need to do. Awakened Mandalorians is no stranger to this. We are a 653 million guild. We have a combination of whales and free-to-play players. We have players who would rather buy a vault than do a GAC. And in the past, we have had players who just don't care, right? Everybody else is putting up high numbers in the raid, and they come in the last hour and throw 300K. But because they've been in the guild for 5 to 6 years, we let them survive. We let them sit there. We say, oh, this guy is a good friend. Like, we can't get rid of him. Like, he's been such a fun person over these 5 or 6 years. And the reality is that that's not fair to the other members of your guild, right? As an officer, it's your job to maximize the raid, to maximize the rewards for the other 49 players in the guild. Now, with that said, if you are a stated casual guild, right? You are a guild that's saying, hey, we're here to have fun. We might not maximize our rewards, and that's okay. That's fine. It's fine to be who you want to be. But at that point, you do, of course, need to recognize that there are players who may eventually decide, you know what, I don't want that anymore. And I've been in that position where I played this game very, very casually, and now I'm here with a microphone in front of me at 11 a.m. on a Monday morning talking about the game because I am so much more hardcore than I was 6 years ago. And if you are an officer in those types of guilds, you just have to accept that sometimes you are not going to meet the needs of your guild all the time. But I want to go back to the original point, and that point is that if you are an officer, it is okay to walk away from people. It is not your fault. It is their fault. Think about this as a real-world situation, right? If you are a boss at a job and you have someone who's been working for you for 5 years, but they start coming in late every single day for the last year, and there's no excuse for it. There's no like, oh, I just had a new baby and it's been really hard and I'm trying to work on times. There's no, oh, my, kid is in the hospital and I can't think about the game. We're not talking about those situations. Those are different. I have every respect for those people, and I will do everything I can to keep them in my guild and to help them not have to worry about the game while they're worried about something in real life. But this person is showing up late to work every day, and you go to fire them, and they victim blame you, right? They say, oh, you wouldn't do that to me. Like, I need the paycheck. Like, you're going to kick me out on the streets. And the reality is, no, that's not what's happening. They have put themselves in the position where you want to move on from them. They have chosen to stop doing their guild events. They have chosen not to prioritize the things the rest of the guild has chosen to prioritize. If you are a good officer core, you have communicated with them, and we've talked about that in earlier videos, right? The communication aspect of letting everybody know what the expectation is for the guild. And when everyone agrees to that expectation, it is your job to say, hey, these people are no longer meeting the expectation. What is the criteria for us getting rid of them? Do we reach out to them once or twice? Do we boot them right away? Do we find a replacement and then after a major event, right? So after a TW or after a TW or a TB, we let them know and we do our transition. Awakened Mandalorians, we have our own process that we follow. But the purpose of this is I hate when I see guilds falling apart. I do. It means that, people, well, it means some people might be losing interest in the game, but it also might mean other people are gaining interest and trying to move towards a more competitive core. As I said before, I am in the throes of my own recruitment journey right now, looking for a few people. And I will, through no uncertain terms, tell you that I have no problem actively recruiting people. I am unabashed. I've said that before. I do reach out to people in guilds. I send them a very polite message. Hey, this is us. If you need a change, hit me up. If they say no, I say, hey, best of luck to you. Good luck with your guild. Have fun. I don't push anybody. But while doing my own recruitment lately, I've noticed a trend. And I would say I was surprised by how many guilds I was looking at in the 575 to 640 range whose top 10 GP players were doing 1 to 3 million in the raid, right? 13 million, 14 million GP players doing 1 to 3 million in the raid. And it blew my mind. And obviously I'm not going to reach out to those people because those people don't meet my criteria. But everybody else in those guilds, they are in a position where they are more likely to leave. They are more likely to walk away. They are more likely to see a message from somebody like me and say, oh yeah, I want to take that opportunity. So if you are an officer in a guild where you feel like there is a core group of players who are complacent, get to work on it. Start doing your very unpaid volunteer job. And if you don't want to do that unpaid volunteer job, find officers that do want to do it. That is your job. It is what you signed up for. That is what your members are counting on you for. And if you have 10 people in that position, I'm not telling you to boot all of them right away. That's a really dumb decision. And I see it happen in games all the time. I get a hankering to try new games every once in a while. And somehow I always end up a guild officer. And the guild leaders will see, 10 people drop off and be totally inactive within the first week, and they'll boot all of them. And that makes it very hard to find new recruits when you say, hey, we're at 40 of 50. Do you want to join us? Right? Do it one at a time. Start replacing from the bottom up. Because some of those players, they might decide, hey, I was being complacent because I was allowed to be complacent, but I don't actually want to leave this group. I do want to continue playing, and I do want to push a little harder. And you might see that some of those people step up to the plate. I want to take a moment at this point to again remind you all that if casual play is your play style, that is okay. And if you are a member in one of those guilds and you're going, oh man, I am the casual person, I am the bottom of the barrel, that's okay too. But you need to find a guild that meets that same criteria, right? Don't join a competitive guild. I think I saw in my alliance recruitment server somebody looking high-level account, 12, 13 million, and they were looking for a guild where they could do none of TB except the special missions and do minimal on the raid and just join TW and set defenses. But they wanted to be in a really high-end guild. And it's not going to happen, right? That person might find a casual guild that is doing less than most other guilds are, but are still fairly high rewards just from the sheer volume of GP. But they're not going to find a competitive guild that is willing to take them, right? So So you want to find a guild that meets the criteria that you're looking for. So once again, officers, please. It actually kind of makes me happy when I reach out to people and they say no. It makes me happy when they say, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm good. Thank you for offering. Because it shows an overall health in a guild and in the game to me when that happens. So officers, please reassess your guild. Reassess your guild needs. Reassess the people in your guild. Watch my other officer videos because we talk about a lot of core concepts on how to be an effective officer. Talk to your officer core. And if you don't have an officer core, if you're a leader that has one or two people who are officers because like, oh, they've been in the guild for forever, so I wanted to reward them. Well, then you're an idiot. Get yourself an officer core, 5 to 6 people. 1 or 2 people for TB, 1 or 2 people for TW. Somebody to reach out to players who are being, complacent or complicit in these issues. Somebody to do recruiting so that everybody has something to do and nobody is doing everything. Talk about these things. Find out the way that you can best serve your guild so that these types of issues don't happen. And I give you permission to walk away from these people. I give you permission, even if they've been in your guild for 8 years. They were 18 when they joined. Now they're married and have a kid. And you know their kid's name and your Uncle Jesse. I don't know. I give you permission to say this person is no longer meets the criteria for being an effective member. And just like I said to guild members in my last video, you can still be friends with those people. And if they don't want to be friends with you at that point, that's their problem. It's just like real life, right? A relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a friend relationship, it's 2 people that grew up together and one person's constantly buying dinner and the other person's constantly Venmoing the other person anytime they do a $3 fucking chore for them. I'm not bitter, I promise. That relationship maybe is no longer serving you. That relationship is maybe no longer a positive in your life. That person might be still somebody that if they text you and they call you and say, hey man, I really need help right now, I'm struggling, you might still help them. But it might not be a person that you talk to constantly or daily anymore. And that's okay. And you know what? It's okay to say, hey man, we're moving on from you right now. But if things change in 6 months, come back. If you want to play more competitively in 6 months, great. We want to have you back. But right now you are not serving the collective and you are actively a disease on the tendrils or on the root system of the guild, right? That's the best way to think of it. That every complacent person in a semi-competitive or competitive guild is slowly poisoning the rest of the group as the rest of the group slowly becomes disenfranchised by the realization that they could be receiving better rewards if they were in a different guild, if their officer core was prioritizing correctly. So please, and I don't request this often. I most of the time I tell people, don't listen to my videos. But I'm telling you right now that if you feel like this fits the needs of your guild, do not post it in your guild's Discord. But do send it to your officers and say, hey, I love this guild. I feel like maybe right now we are not meeting the core criteria that I currently signed up with. I want you to watch this video and tell me what you think. Because I want to give my guild a chance, but I have to make the right move for me if we are happy with this complacency. And guild officers, if you're struggling, if you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. Shoot me a message on Discord. Say, hey, Egnards, your message resonated with me. Here's my situation. What do you think I should do? I'll help you. Right? I get messages every day. I cannot answer all of them every day. I wish that I could, but I try. But I will help you. I have gone into guild Discords before. I have helped them redo their guild discords. I have sat idle in guild discords before and watched for a week or two before giving assessments, right? And it takes a lot of work and a lot of energy, but I've done it for guilds to help them out. And I will do it for you because I don't want to see guilds fail and I want people happy in this game. But I will leave you again with this as I repeat my message over and over again. Do not be complacent. As a guild officer, you have a responsibility. If you don't want that responsibility, step down and find somebody who does want that responsibility. I understand it as a game, but it is a competitive game where your choices affect the other people playing with you. So please do what is right for those 49 and trim the fat, stem the poison, get rid of the disease. Let those people find their own way. And if you are one of those people, I'm sorry. Shoot me angry messages. Say mean things about me on Discord and Reddit and Substack and YouTube and Twitch. I don't care. I'll take the heat. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day.